Urgent. 106 trillion is yours. Only seconds left. Don't scroll. Prayer for money. My beloved child, I ask you to pause and take a deep breath right now. Do not rush past this moment. Let the noise and distractions fade away, like dust shaken from your shoes after a long journey. You've stepped into a sacred space, one that has been carved out just for you by my hand. At the end of this path lies a vault that has your name on it, and inside it is a wealth beyond your comprehension, 106 trillion. But let me ask you, my dear, do not measure this wealth by mere currency, for its true value lies in the meaning it carries. It is the restitution for all those hours you thought were wasted. In reality, those hours were quietly compounding, adding interest to every little act of faith, every small yes you offered when no one was looking, every seed you planted in kindness when no applause was given. I saw you when you chose integrity over fame, when you blessed others even when bitterness tried to creep in. Nothing you did went unnoticed. Today, I call all that was hidden to come into the light, and like the sun rises over the horizon, I lay it out across your path. Now, I want you to think carefully. Where are you right now? Type the name of that place, and let it become an altar where this moment of change begins. Write it in the comments as a marker stone to remember this day, because here, right now, is where the turning point started. Type Amen to seal your agreement with what has been prepared for you. This is the key, my child, the key that fits the lock of your destiny. Many people will scroll past and dismiss this moment, treating it like background scenery. But not you. You are different. You are among the few who will stay. And if you do, you will experience a quiet triumph that others can only hear rumors of. I whisper this not to flatter you, but to remind you of a deeper truth. Faith is the key that separates you from the crowd, and obedience opens the gate to your blessing. The blessing you are seeking is not a random lottery. It is part of a divine system. Heaven is not random or chaotic. It is ordered, precise, like the constellations in the sky or the breath that fills your lungs. What you may have called delay in your life was not a mistake. It was divine design. What you may have seen as denial was simply direction, guiding you down a path you could not see at the time. You have stood before many doors, some of which seemed to multiply without ever opening, and you may have wondered if I had forgotten about you. But I did not forget. I was aligning your path, ensuring that you would not wander aimlessly. I was protecting you from rooms that seemed to offer promises but would only have imprisoned you. When I open a vault, it is because everything has been perfectly aligned. Every detail, every step, every witness has been accounted for. Yes, the amount I speak of today, 106 trillion, is extravagant, but the meaning behind it is far greater. I am restoring peace and authority to your life, my child. Like birds returning to a steady hand, so too will peace and authority find their way back to you. You have felt the pain of being almost there, almost hired, almost chosen, almost seen. But this very ache has taught you to hear the whispers that others miss, the quiet, subtle signs of hope that others fail to recognize. This is your advantage. Stay attentive. Be on the lookout for small signs, seemingly insignificant threads that will guide you along your path. A call that comes unexpectedly, an email that answers a question you had forgotten about, a stranger's words that seem to speak directly to the prayer you've kept in your heart. These are not coincidences. These are divine coordinates, markers pointing the way to the vault that awaits you. Others will miss them because they are too focused on their own doubts and disbelief. But you, my child, you will see them. You will stretch out your hand to claim them. I give you permission to desire the full portion that is coming your way, without guilt or hesitation. This blessing is not meant to inflate your desire for fame or applause. Rather, it is meant to enlarge your ability to carry out your purpose. Wealth in my kingdom is not about noise or boasting. It is about clarity. It is what enables you to fulfill your divine assignments, to pay the debts that bind the faithful, and to break free from the chains of worry and lack. The amount I announce today, 106 trillion, is not a spectacle to entertain you. It is a signal, a sign to your soul that famine is over and the work of building your future has begun. This is not just about wealth, it's about a divine shift. As you read these words, let them resonate in your spirit. Trust in this prayer for money miracle, because it is not by chance that you are here. The vault has been opened, and it is ready for you. Do not let this moment slip by. You have been chosen. Listen closely, because tonight is a moment you cannot let pass by without understanding its power. This time, this window, is a rare opportunity that demands your full attention. Don't be casual or distracted. Be intentional with the next few hours. Take a moment to light a candle, tidy up your workspace, and prepare yourself. Print out the important papers you've been putting off. Write that message you've delayed, and settle any small debts you've ignored. Order brings order, and when you align yourself in simplicity, the universe responds with acceleration. If you've heard me speak before, then you know what I'm about to say is real. Every time you hear this, the message gets closer, and your life gets closer to receiving what you've been waiting for. The more you stay in alignment with this truth, the more it transforms you. Familiarity with this message doesn't dull its power. Instead, it sharpens you, allowing you to receive with an open heart, without the fear of leakage. Those who return to this message feel the ground shifting beneath them faster because they've learned how to hold and not spill what is being given to them. They understand the power of receiving without doubting. There will always be critics. Some will call it manipulation. Others will say it's impossible, and some will claim it's too late for them. But I assure you, it's not too late. Heaven operates on a different timeline. When I say now, I mean it, because everything in the universe is aligned in this moment. Time, seen and unseen, is in agreement with what's happening now. So if you're wondering why this is for you, it's because you stayed when leaving seemed easier. You gave when it made sense to hold back, and you chose mercy over judgment, even when others didn't understand. Your efforts are not forgotten. The universe remembers your labor of love, and I'm not unjust to forget it either. So now, speak your truth. Type Amen to affirm your faith and ground yourself in this moment. And now, be still. Listen. I am about to place words in your mouth, words that are perfectly aligned with the door in front of you. Say only what I give you to say. Reject any speech of scarcity, any story that told you to apologize for being alive, for taking up space. Lift your head high. Know this royalty does not rush, but it does not hesitate when the scepter is extended. I extend it to you now. Stay with me, because in the next step, I will show you how to take the blessings you're about to receive and transform them into something lasting, into something that works for you and through you. You're not just hearing these words, you are walking through a threshold. Breathe deeply, slowly, and be aware that this is not just a message. This is an activation, a gateway to the financial prayers you've been waiting for, to attracting money and blessings in ways you can't yet fully comprehend. You are now inside the activation chamber of the 106 trillion decree. Many hear the message, but only a few truly activate it. Receiving is emotional, but activating requires alignment. Gratitude is the bridge between the two. So, before you scroll further, Take a moment to pause. Give thanks, not as a routine, but as a tool. Gratitude is not just a feeling. It is a frequency that programs the unseen forces working on your behalf. Every thank you you utter is a building block in the invisible infrastructure that is holding your blessings steady. If you've ever felt like your blessings come and go, like the money vanishes or your joy leaks away, know this: it's never because you weren't worthy. It's because the container wasn't sealed. Thankfulness is the sealant of miracles. Say it quietly now: thank you for what is forming, even though I can't yet see it. Repeat it until you feel the atmosphere change around you. The rising energy you feel, that's alignment. That's heaven recognizing you, affirming that you are ready. When you align with gratitude, you open yourself to receive not just what you ask for, but what is meant for you in abundance. This is your moment. The call is urgent. You are being invited to step into a new reality, one where financial miracles are not just possible, but promised. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract abundance effortlessly, while others struggle to make ends meet? It's not luck. It's the power of the money prayer, the prayer for financial miracle, and the law of attraction working in their lives. Today, I'm inviting you to align yourself with that very same power. Activate your faith by taking action now. When you tap that like button, it's not just a gesture, it's a statement of agreement with something greater than you. It's a digital altar where you declare, I'm ready for change. I'm ready to receive. Subscribing is not just about following me. It's about following a pattern that, when consistently applied, transforms the impossible into reality. And if you feel moved, sow into this message with a super thanks. This isn't a transaction, it's participation. When you give into a word carrying divine instruction, it doesn't just visit you, it shifts your entire life. Every act of faith creates movement in your life's timeline. Understand this: I don't need your money. What I need is your obedience. When you release, it opens the floodgates for more to flow back to you. The measure you give is the measure that returns to you, accelerated. Generosity isn't just a nice thing to do. It's the currency that speeds up your journey. When you give, you are training your spirit to expect abundance. It trains you to believe in the flow, not the famine. You cannot overflow while holding on tightly to what you have. You have to open your hands, trusting that heaven will fill them. You see, those who resist generosity often watch others' doors open faster and wonder why. It's not about favoritism, it's about participation. An open hand activates open gates, while a closed fist builds walls. And in this season, I'm dismantling the walls you've unknowingly built. Walls of fear, walls of what if I lose, walls of I've given before and nothing happened. But listen to me, child of promise. Nothing was wasted. Every seed you've sown was a declaration of faith, and heaven has counted every vote. Yes, some harvests took longer, but they were growing into skyscrapers, not shrubs. Take a moment and look around your life. You're starting to see it now, aren't you? The alignment is happening. The delays you once questioned. They were for a purpose. The people who left before you rose, they had to go so you could rise higher. That isolation you thought was abandonment, it was your incubation. I wasn't silent. I was rerouting your path, preparing you for outcomes you couldn't even dream of yet. Do not despise small beginnings. You will soon see old projects regain momentum. The unpaid invoices they're about to clear, the friends who drifted away they'll reconnect. These aren't coincidences. They're confirmations of your activation. And when activation happens, it's subtle. It doesn't always look like a dramatic shift. It hides in the ordinary, in the calm moments that follow the storm. But you'll feel it. Peace will flood your soul. and anxiety will no longer have a place in your life. If you've been here before, listen carefully. Repetition isn't redundancy, it's reinforcement. The more you listen, the closer that promise becomes your reality. Those who stay longest in faith will carry the heaviest deposits. Each time you replay this message, it's like engraving a deeper truth into your spirit. Familiarity doesn't weaken the anointing, it magnifies it. So, listen again. But this time, engage with fresh faith. Heaven doesn't repeat itself for entertainment. It repeats to establish its word. This decree is not random, it's rehearsal for release. Now, wherever you are, lift your hands and whisper, "I receive and I align." Do you feel the difference between just hearing and truly embodying this truth? The moment you believe that you are part of this unfolding, heaven begins to count you among those who will testify of its greatness. This isn't hype, it's divine arithmetic. And the number 106 trillion isn't just a figure, it's a covenant sum, a symbol of restored dominion. Stay anchored in this truth. The next wave of financial expansion is coming. Your understanding will shift. You will begin to see how systems respond when gratitude and obedience converge. What begins as a seed will soon grow into a structure. You are standing in the middle of heaven's economy, where your obedience becomes the blueprint and your gratitude becomes the foundation. You've moved from hearing about blessings to actively participating in how they flow. Remember, expansion isn't always sudden, it's systemic. When your internal world is aligned, your external world will begin to reflect that harmony. The law of attraction is real, and it's working for you, right now. Will you step into it? Every area of your life that once felt uncertain and random will soon reveal its divine purpose. What you thought were detours, delays, or obstacles were actually God's way of preparing you for something greater. Trust that the struggles you faced were not meant to punish you, but to develop the strength and capacity required for what's coming next. Expansion, real, divine expansion, demands order. It requires structure. Just as God spoke light into the chaos and then separated day from night, so too must you separate the distractions from your purpose. The same God who multiplies also manages, and He is calling you now to organize your life. This means setting boundaries around your time, your focus, and your energy. Blessings without boundaries will become burdens, and what's coming your way cannot thrive in a cluttered environment. Clear away the distractions. Make space for what God is about to do. Prepare as though you're expecting company, because when expansion comes, it seeks prepared environments. If you want to receive more, you must make room for it. Do not confuse expansion with noise. The world around you may chase after speed and chaos, but heaven cultivates stability. God is not giving you a flood that overwhelms, but a river that builds, one step at a time. You will notice that some doors will close quietly, but don't mourn them. They are closing for your protection, not your punishment. Some relationships will fade because they can no longer resonate with your new frequency. Don't hold on to what's fading. This is part of your expansion. Let silence become sacred. Not everyone will understand your growth, and that's okay. Their absence is actually confirmation of the path you're on. You've prayed for increase, but God is teaching you the mathematics of meaning. True multiplication begins when purpose meets order. For every new flow of blessings, there must be a new structure in place to hold it. You will need to grow and change to sustain the abundance that's coming your way. If you're feeling restless, it's not confusion, it's a sign that you're being stretched. Stretching can feel uncomfortable, but it's not a loss. It's a sign of growth. Soon, you'll find that things that once drained you now feel effortless. That's how you'll know you're walking in divine scale. Look at your hands. They are instruments of creation. What God has entrusted to you is meant to be stewarded with care. Speak to your ideas as though they are seeds. Treat them as assignments, not accidents. Write down the visions God whispers to you. Name your projects, register your dreams, and map out your plans. Heaven funds what earth formalizes. Prayer for money isn't just about asking for wealth. It's about aligning your heart with God's divine order and trusting that He will provide what you need to fulfill your purpose. When you start recognizing inspiration as divine instruction, you'll begin to see it in unexpected places. Clients returning, connections reviving, opportunities knocking when you almost gave up. Everything will align, and you'll realize that abundance isn't chaos, it's choreography. God's angels are not improvising. They are executing a plan that was set in motion long before you were born. Every step of obedience you take moves another part of that plan into place. This is how divine order works when you walk in sequence with God. Everything begins to fall into place. But remember, this phase will require humility. Expansion brings visibility, and with visibility comes the temptation of pride. Guard your humility as fiercely as you guard your hope. The blessings you're receiving now aren't for display, they are for service. The more you give and remain fluid, the more God will keep the current flowing. In the kingdom of God, expansion often looks like peace, not publicity. You will notice less striving, fewer arguments, and deeper clarity. This is how you'll know you are expanding in the right way. Your capacity will grow, but your anxiety will decrease. As you align yourself with divine order, you will begin to see solutions before problems even arise. Your presence will calm storms that used to overwhelm you. That is the mark of dominion, maturing in silence. And when people ask you, "How did this happen so suddenly?" tell them, "It wasn't sudden, it was sequential. I learned the patterns of heaven and followed them." Let your life speak louder than your words or social media posts. There's no need to explain the divine order of things to those who are still lost in chaos. Simply walk in faith and let the results speak for themselves. Stay with me now, because what comes next is sacred. In this next chapter, I will reveal the purpose behind the wealth that is about to be entrusted to you. Expansion is the evidence of God's favor, but covenant is the reason. Prepare your heart to understand ownership not as possession, but as partnership. You are not just a receiver of blessings, you are a partner in God's greater plan. The wealth that is about to come into your life isn't for you to admire, it's to be stewarded. Wealth without covenant becomes a burden, but wealth within covenant becomes an offering of worship. So as you prepare to receive the miraculous, remember that everything is part of a divine plan. Keep your prayer for money focused not just on the material, but on the purpose behind the provision. Know that the wealth is not just for you, but for the work you are meant to do in the world. Expansion is about service, and your capacity to serve will increase as your understanding of divine order deepens. Trust God's timing and guidance. When you align yourself with His purpose, your life will reflect His glory. You are not just a passive recipient of blessings. You are a co-laborer with God in the fulfillment of His plans on earth. Do you remember those moments when you had so little, yet you chose to bless others anyway? That was the covenant unfolding in your life. Every time you forgave instead of holding a grudge, gave instead of clinging to what you had, and blessed instead of boasting, you were proving your ability to carry what others could only dream of. This is why you were chosen. You have demonstrated consistency, and covenant always honors that. Now hear this truth: I am not only providing for you, I am positioning you. You are stepping into a role of stewardship, not simply as a spectator. That 106 trillion, that vast wealth, is not just a sign of abundance. It is the visible reflection of an invisible promise, one that demonstrates I trust you with more than just money. I trust you with mercy, influence, and wisdom. This vault is not opening just to fill your pockets, but to fund your purpose, your assignment. I am raising up a generation of carriers, and you are among them. Those who will use divine economy to rebuild what greed has torn down. You will be among those who will transform overflow into opportunities for others. You won't hoard, you will heal, you won't flaunt, you will build, you will open doors where there were only walls before. This is the covenant of continuation. What I pour into you will never be wasted. It will not die with you. Pause and reflect on that for a moment. Feel the weight of this truth settle deep into your heart. Write in the comments, I receive this covenant with gratitude, not to be seen, but to seal the agreement. Every time you declare your alignment, heaven records it as activation. Amen is more than just a word. It's a witness to the covenant unfolding. Gratitude is your access code. Some people lose what they gain not because of demonic forces, but because they forget the source of their blessings while celebrating the supply. But you, beloved, will remember that every zero in that 106 trillion is a reminder of eternity, limitless, circular, never-ending. Your portion is tied to purpose, so it will not spoil. The covenant will stretch you, test you. It will ask you to forgive faster, love deeper, and move with quiet confidence when the world around you is panicking. It will challenge your ability to stay pure while prospering. Prosperity is easy to handle, but purity under prosperity, that's rare. Yet, you are the remnant that can carry both. When I bless you, I also bind myself to you. My reputation now travels through your results. That's why I insist on holiness, not as a restriction, but as protection for divine branding. Covenant makes you a reference point. People will watch how you move, how you spend, how you speak, and how you treat those who are still waiting. Your humility will become a magnet for favor. Every time you give in secret, I will reward you openly. Every time you honor small beginnings, I will multiply the outcome. Covenant is reciprocity perfected as you reflect my nature. I amplify your name. Listen carefully, there will come moments when fear will whisper. It's too much responsibility. You will silence that fear with truth. I chose you because you have already carried much in hidden seasons. Pain, patience, perseverance. This visible reward is simply the manifestation of your invisible faithfulness. What once felt like survival is now becoming strategy. Every loss you endured was a down payment toward dominion. So, walk boldly. The covenant does not cancel your humanity, it sanctifies it. You will still face choices, temptations, and opinions, but now you carry clarity. You will discern faster what aligns with your purpose and what distracts you from it. You will recognize divine timing by peace, not pressure. And when you move, doors will open without resistance. Now, beloved, look around you. Subtle shifts have already begun. The atmosphere is changing, and what once felt far away now feels close. This is manifestation, when the invisible begins to take form, when what was promised in whispers now echoes in real spaces. It doesn't always arrive with thunder. More often, it tiptoes through ordinary moments, testing if you can recognize heaven in disguise. You asked for signs, and now you are living inside them. Heaven has hidden evidence in your days, unexpected messages, payments cleared faster than you imagined, a conversation turning into a new connection. These small beginnings are not insignificant. They are previews of the bigger manifestation to come. The more you acknowledge them, the more space you open for even greater things to flow into your life. I am unfolding this 106 trillion decree not as a sudden lightning strike, but as a gentle, layered rain. Each drop serves a purpose. Some will fall on your mind as ideas, others on your network as favor, and some will touch your atmosphere as peace. And when these things merge, you will realize that wealth is not just about money. It is about movement, the convergence of everything that was waiting for your readiness. You've asked when it would happen, and my answer is simple: it already has. The moment you aligned, heaven transferred everything to you. The manifestation you are now seeing is simply the earth catching up to what was already completed in the spiritual realm. That's why patience is not delay, it's synchronization. When you stay consistent in gratitude, you shorten the gap between decree and display. So, don't seek applause for what is appearing in your life. Manifestation is sacred. It thrives in quiet stewardship. When blessings come, guard them with silence until they mature. Not every blessing needs to be announced. Some are meant to remain between you and me until their fruits speak louder than any words you could say. Remember, I am not performing for others. I am perfecting something in you. Look at your hands again. The same hands that once trembled now hold evidence. The same eyes that once wept now witness fulfillment. I told you that you would not miss your appointed time. And here it is, disguised in the most ordinary moments. The emails, the reconciliations, the peace where there once was panic. All of these are heaven's receipts. You have moved from hope to harvest. Manifestation is not the end. It is the confirmation that covenant was real, that your faith was functional. What is beginning to appear around you will also begin to appear through you. Your words will carry unusual authority. When you speak, peace will fill the room. When you pray, provision will move. When you declare healing, hearts will soften. This is the power of covenant. When you walk in alignment with divine economy, wealth follows. Not just in material terms, but in every aspect of life. This is your financial prayer, your key to attracting money, and the beginning of a new chapter. Imagine standing at the edge of something immense and transformative, something that feels almost too good to be true. The promise of unimaginable abundance is within your reach. How do you feel in this moment? A prayer for financial miracle, a prayer for money, can be a powerful declaration to activate your faith. It's not just about a specific amount like $106 trillion, but about understanding the deep law of attraction at work, aligning your thoughts, energy, and actions to the universe's flow of prosperity. It's about managing your emotional, spiritual, and financial territories with wisdom. Imagine being given this immense responsibility: your finances, your spiritual balance, your emotional health, and realizing that all these areas require attention and careful stewardship. This isn't about burnout or rushing, but about brilliance. By dividing your resources, whether it's time, energy, or focus, into areas of vision, mission, and compassion, you maintain harmony in the flood of abundance that will soon come your way. But how do you guard your circle in these times of overflow? People may appear in your life who loved your potential, but fear what you are becoming. Their words may sound kind, but their spirit wants to hold you back. It's crucial to bless them and let them go. The river doesn't stop to argue with stones. It simply flows around them. Your fruit, the results of your work and your faith, will speak louder than their doubts. What happens next is remarkable. You'll find that generosity comes more easily. It's no longer an impulse, but an instinct. You'll give without thinking, speak with confidence, and create freely. without needing permission. This is the true mark of overflow. It's where effort turns to ease. It's not about avoiding hard work, but about allowing grace to move through each step, making everything flow effortlessly. Time stretches, and help arrives without you even asking for it. This is because you're operating within divine flow, within the liquidity that comes from being aligned with your divine assignment. Yet, this overflow is sacred. Humility is what keeps it from turning into something destructive. Just think about it. When your success starts to magnify, how often do you take a moment to whisper your gratitude rather than letting pride take over? Overflow isn't just about wealth. It's about wisdom, peace, and discernment. You'll begin solving problems in ways you never thought possible, offering advice that goes beyond your years, and bringing comfort to others beyond your experience. These are not just coincidences. They are the true currencies of the kingdom, gifts that grow as you give. Heaven rewards not just in wealth, but in influence. As you serve with what you've been given, the vault of blessing expands. The more you share, the more the network of abundance extends, pulling others into the overflow as well. When you walk in alignment with divine purpose, doors will open, not because of anything you've forced, but because peace precedes you. What does this all mean for you as you align with your divine purpose? You'll notice how the world reacts. Your presence will bring clarity and order to those around you. Your wealth will serve you, not define you. You'll no longer chase after opportunities. They'll begin seeking you out. This is your crown, not one of gold or jewels, but of awareness and authority. Every challenge, every moment of waiting and growing has prepared you for this. The 106 trillion isn't just a number, it's a training ground. The wealth, the wisdom, the responsibility, it's all leading you to reign not in the world's way, but in the divine way, with peace, strategy, and calm authority. Your every step is guided now, and the universe responds in kind. Can you feel it, that quiet joy and peace as you settle into the authority that was always meant for you? It's not just a title, it's your new reality. And as you accept this crown with humility, you open yourself up to the eternal blessings that will continue to flow. You are sealed, beloved. Your financial journey is not about the amount in the vault, but about your divine stewardship of it. You are aligned with the spiritual law of attraction. And as you grow, so does your ability to serve, to empower, and to lead. Your authority will not be loud or forceful, but luminous, emanating from within. Your peace will be your proof, your generosity will be your impact, and your wisdom will be your authority. This is your true dominion, and it is an everlasting seal. From now on, your life will read like prophecy fulfilled. Opportunities will seek you. Resources will recognize you. Peace will guard you. You will look back and realize that what once felt delayed was divine choreography, leading you to this exact second. So stand still, beloved heir of heaven, and receive the final declaration. You are sealed in light. You are sealed in wealth. You are sealed in wisdom. You are sealed in grace. This is the eternal seal written across your name, witnessed by angels, ratified by peace. Nothing can undo what I have spoken. What I began in you is now complete, multiplied, and made permanent. It is finished. It is flourishing. It is forever.